Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been having some difficulty doing the videos at my work lately. Um, so I'm doing it from the apartment at the moment. I'm about to read chapter 7, A Question Worth Dying For. I get up off my pellets and slowly inch my painful legs down the hall to wait for my family in the den. Here, I try to stretch. It's a daunting task, although I'm determined to make my legs more mobile before breakfast. I'm in excruciating pain as I try to enter a state of meditation. I've never tried this before, but I think anything is worth a try. While taking occasional breaks, the pain subsides, allowing my muscles to feel numb for brief periods of time. When the ladies come down the hallway and discover me in pain, Akram is first to my side. "Nathan, stop! You're hurting yourself." "It's Rogar's orders. My legs are so tight I can barely walk." "You shouldn't go to work today. Let your legs relax a bit. You tried too hard, son." "He already told me not to work today. All he wants me to do is spend some time stretching." "You have today off?" Sierra asked me. "I wish I could have the day off," Cassidy adds. "Mom, can I watch over him? I'll wait on him hand and foot." Akram laughs. "And miss out on all that work? You wouldn't want to do that now, would you?" "Did you not hear what I said?" "Oh, hush. You're going to work," Akram tells her. "Nathan, I'll go talk with Wyston. It would be nice if you two had some time together." After breakfast, my sisters are the first to leave. It feels weird not to follow them down the trail as usual. Akram hugs us and bids us farewell as she heads to the Weavers' Guild to make blankets and clothes. Wyston looks up at me, probably wondering what to do with me. How embarrassing. "Stop looking at me like that." "Like what?" "You don't have to babysit me. I may be a kid now, but when I was on my world, I was almost full grown." So you have said. It's hard to see you that way, though." "Well, believe it, Dad," I say with a crack of a smile. He doesn't smile back. "You never called me that before." "Sorry." "No, it's all right, son," he tells me with a rarely seen, honest smile. Usually he has an ornery grin. "Come on, let's go hunting. You may be off work today, but I'm not." We make our way outside the city rather slowly, thanks to me. The walk is uncomfortable to say the least. I don't know what to say to him after that little slip. Weston keeps giving me floundering glances until finally stopping in his tracks. "It's all right if you don't want to call me Dad." "No, it isn't that. I do see you in that way. I just don't want to feel that I'm being disrespectful to my blood father. One day he might come back, and I don't want him to think I've traded him in." "I can understand that." You know, I never called him Dad." "Yeah?" "He's always had me call him Father. Sometimes I wanted to call him Dad, but I never felt allowed to. It was a respect thing for him, I think." "I don't mind if you want to call me Dad," he says, and it reminds me of something I had almost forgotten. There was this afternoon on my planet when I was at a friend's home. On the wall was a picture of a man and a boy fishing in a boat. At the bottom was a quote: "Anyone can be a father. It takes someone special to be a dad." I tell him, and then look away. I always wondered if I was missing out on something. Though embarrassed, I glance back at him. He's smiling bigger and happier than I've ever seen him before. When I approached the priestess to ask her approval to marrying Akram, she told me that we'd never conceive a child together. Until you came around, I never thought I'd get a chance to raise a son. You may be alien to everyone else, but you're flesh and blood to me." "Oh no, an awkward father-son moment," I say. He finally gives that ornery grin I expect from him. "We should talk about something else." "Agreed." "Are there any girls you like?" "No, I say and shudder at the thought. Maybe in a few years when they look as old as I feel. How are those dreams coming along? I'm not sure I can ask you about that. He was your friend, and this could ruin your day. I'm not a dramatic person. Try me. How do you think Jerome died? He jolts in surprise. Did you see his death? No. I saw the priestess tell him that his death would be a mystery. That's true. Nobody knows how he ended up outside the city that night. Did you know I was the one who found him? Yeah, it was a mile from here. I was out late hunting when I saw his body lying in the snow. There was this cloaked figure standing over him. Was it a woman in a red cloak? I don't know. It was too dark to see the color, and the snowstorm was obscuring my view. Why didn't you tell me this when I asked you about the woman in red was? Many people wear cloaks, Nate. I didn't think of it. What was the person doing? When the figure became aware of me, it used magic and disappeared. It was her. It had to be. I've never seen any other person use magic to teleport before. This must have been the other version of her that she warned me about. Me, different me, she said. I don't understand what that's all about, but I must find out. If the figure was Jerome's killer, do you have any clues who it might be? Except for the veil, I have no idea who'd want him dead. You know who you might want to ask though, right? His family? Rain is pouring down by mid-afternoon when I'm making my way down the steep slope into the Libus meadow. The dark clouds overhead roar with thunder and lightning. I could have waited until tomorrow when I was due back at work, but those nagging questions at the back of my mind won't leave me alone. Over the last 2 nights, my dreams have drawn a small connection between Jerome and myself. He's becoming an extension of who I am. To ask who killed him is almost to ask who killed me as well. Weisson's answers are not enough. Maybe Jerome's family can appease my need for clues. Thought I told you to take a day off round here, Rogar says as he exits the Libus home. I have questions about Jerome. Would you be willing to help me? Bother Kandari or Suri with stuff like that. Unlike those girls, I live in the present, as my son would have wanted me to. His already drenched beard sprays me as he talks. I want to know how he died. Lightning strikes behind me. The awkward pause for him to answer allows the thunder to have its moment. He looks furious. Why? Did you see his death? Tell me, boy. No, I didn't. It's just a question. Then talk to the women, he says in a weak voice. I have a busy afternoon ahead of me. Kandari is, well, she's more interested in questions like that. Rogar is quick to turn away from me and makes his way to the backyard. After he leaves my sight, I walk to the entrance of the Libus home and Kandari greets me on her way out. Oh, what are you doing here today? I had another dream last night. Sorry for being so blunt, but in this vision, the priestess told him that he would die on his last mission. However, she was unwilling to name his killer. The priestess told him that? Are you sure? There were no flashes during the time she said she was talking? There were no flashes. I saw what I saw. She contemplates it and says, let's take a walk. We stroll into the backyard and past Rogar, who is already hard at work. I try to make eye contact, but he doesn't return my glance. He appears to be hiding his face from me. We walk to the farthest corner of the meadow, 200 yards from the Leibus home and stop at a 20-foot tree. It has bold color schemes, both on the leaves and on the trunk, which makes it stand out in this gloomy weather. The body of the tree shares interweaving tones of brown colors, and it's no surprise that the dark green leaves with red crystallized underbellies are much prettier here than in my pouch. When we buried him, we had to decide what to plant over him. There are many trees and bushes to choose from, but the time it takes for the plant to be ready and the quality of the dreams you get will vary immensely. The question became, do we raise a plant that will be ready for harvest within a year and get poor quality dreams, or do we choose a plant that takes a great time longer but will give clearer dreams? You waited for better quality. We planted the tree that took the longest to harvest. This kind of tree is supposed to be ready for harvest after 4 years. It will tell you it's ready when the leaves crystallize in the spring of that year. She fingers the red dust on the leaves and watches the rain flow down the stem. That was expected to happen a year ago. But when the time came, the leaves didn't sparkle the way they were supposed to. We were almost ready to give up on Jerob's tree when little Abby's face lit up as she noticed the glowing reflections on the ground around the tree. That was one day after you arrived in our city, Nathan. My eyes widened. Rogar said I was crazy when I told him this, but I think that tree may have been waiting for you. Almost sounds like it, doesn't it? I take that idea and let out a small laugh. To me, this sounds like the start of a cliché video game prophecy. What, you think I'm crazy too? She asks. No, it just reminds me of something. Please go on. We chose this tree, chose to wait because it's our only link to the last year of his life, our last chance to have closure. We don't know how he died, and we've been desperate for an answer. That's why we refused to sell his crop in split transactions. We knew that we had to sell his entire plot to a single person if we ever wanted to have our answer. Everyone wanted that deed, but it had to be someone we could trust. So you trusted the alien to tell you? Yes, I did. You and Jerob are the same. You're identical. Her words remind me of the person I was back on Earth. In the short months that I have been on this new world, I've already changed so much. This is a happy thought. Can you tell me about Jerob's last mission? Well, that's what surprised me. Jerob didn't die on the last mission as the priestess told him he would. He didn't? Isn't the priestess supposed to know the future? She's able to see a man's life from beginning to end. Only the smallest details can change. The overall results remain the same as she predicts. But Jerob did not die on that battlefield that day. Mrs. Leibus, please, you must tell me everything you know about his mission and the day he died. After he reunited from his meeting with the priestess, he told us that he was to locate a special item. The priestess described it to him as a large boulder. Once he found the item, he was to protect it at all costs. He knew that Vale would be searching for the rock, and that a battle was sure to ensue. He told the people that he wished to go alone. He didn't want his comrades to get hurt. But they all protested, and soon his friends were saying goodbye to their families. A third of those soldiers returned 4 days later, and Jerob wasn't with them. Everyone believed he had died, and that his body was missing somewhere on the battlefield. But he did come back eventually? A year later, she pauses, and seems to be holding in some emotion. Well, his body did. Jerob had only been dead a short time, yet too long for a miracle. Healing magic can save a person who is near death, but no healer has ever resurrected a body once they're gone. Her eyes tell me that she's reliving Jerob's return in her mind. His body was found just outside the city. Oddly, he was naked and his beloved weapons gone. Wyston told me he found Jerob and there was a person in a cloak standing by him. Do you know who she was? So it's a she now. I have no idea. If you know anything about it, you must tell me. I don't, but I'll try to find out. Be careful. It's believed that a person with a weak mind can be so connected to the person who they are in a dream that they can die when experiencing a death dream. You can die in your dreams? Please don't let that stop you from trying. If you could tell me who killed my son, your debt to me, to my family, will be paid in full. I let that offer sit in my head for the remainder of the evening. When dinner time came around, we took the food into our den to eat because the trees didn't give much cover from the storm. After I finish my plate, I glance at Wyston, and he looks back with a smile. This may be abrupt, but Kandari said that Jerob wasn't wearing his armor. You didn't tell me that earlier. I must have overlooked that detail, he answers in a quiet tone. I can sense his eyes are hiding something. What is it? I don't know. He couldn't have killed Jerob, could he? When it's time to get into my pelts, I make sure my thoughts are that of Jerob's last night alive and the mysterious woman in red. I know there might be a small possibility of danger here, although I can't help but be doubtful. On Earth, many believe you could die in your dreams, but I had dreamed of dying at least a half-dozen times, and yet I'm alive. I want to have a dream that will prove Wyston's innocence in the matter. To do that, I must trigger a dream on that night Wyston found him. Once I appear in Jerob's body, I'm lying bloodied in the snow-covered ground on the shadowy woods. The moon is barely more than a sliver in the sky. I feel weak and am in terrible pain. After looking down, I quickly realize that I'm not naked like Wyston had told everyone. I'm wearing shiny chrome armor that I'd never seen on a man of the vein wear before. I cannot look past the thick breastplate, but I can feel the bottom of it end at my lower ribs, where there's a shredded gray fabric on my arms that expose several cuts. I have to wonder if his swords are missing from his back like Wyston claimed. My vision isn't telling me the answers, and it's hard to tell by the weight of armor that could be covering his back. Why did Wyston lie about this? Then I hear it. Her voice. The monotone, emotionless voice I had thought about all too much since my arrival on this planet. It's coming from behind me. Take solace in the fact that one day the alien boy will avenge your death, she says. Wow, she told Jerob about me? That's creepy. Jerob shivers. But I don't... I know what you want to say. You don't have to tell me. That is not what I meant at all. The dream flashes. The woman in the red cloak is now standing in front of me. Her face lingers, hidden behind that eerie shadow. I try so hard to look past the darkness and make out any details of her face, but it's so hard to see anything. The snow falling in front of my sight isn't helping either. All of a sudden, the noise of feet compacting holes in the snow carries over us. The mysterious woman turns her head in the direction of the faint noise, and I do the same. Wyston is there, an arrow drawn and aimed at us. He's dressed in thicker clothes than I have seen him in, with a brown wool coat, breeches, and a black scarf. He is here. I will leave him to you. Say goodbye. It is your last chance. Then a green lining of magic energy encases and envelops her whole body. With a quick green flash, she is gone. Wystan races to my side and kneels beside me. At this point, I can feel myself weaken. He stares at me, probably wanting to know how I came back from the dead. Drobe? Goldcrown, is that you? I gasp. When are you going to stop calling me that? We thought you were... Never mind. Why are you dressed like that? Wystan gives Drobe an... Why are you dressed like that? Wystan gives Drobe an expression of disgust. Then, yet again, my dream flashes. When the white light fades, I'm now naked. My gray shirt is staining the snow floor in red. Wystan is wrapping my bloodied midsection in his black scarf, and I feel terribly sick. I am now focused on the pain of a deep wound in my stomach. I cannot see the wound, but I sure can feel it. I couldn't pinpoint the pain before. Is it because I now see the bloody trails coming from the scarf, or because maybe this is a new wound? Wystan, don't tell them. Wystan begins to cough. His coughs are spurting blood far enough that I can see it through his eyes. While fighting to breathe, I wake from the dream in fear. I'm sitting up on my bed, and Akaram is shaking me violently. In the darkness of the room, only the strange purple light highlights my face. She looks terrified. My sisters are behind Mom. Both of their eyes are closed as they cast spells of purple energy on me. The dim magic is traveling in slow waves from their little hands to my body, making me glow and creating a haze in my vision. Little Castanea appears to be having a difficult time conjuring her spell. Her magic isn't flowing as good as our sister's, and you can tell by the expression on her face that she's getting frustrated about it. Akaram sighs in relief to see me awake. My sister stopped casting whatever spell they were putting on me. I wiped the drool from my mouth and pulled my hand back, only to realize that it's not drool, it's blood. As the purple light is fading, I notice Wystan on his knees to my left. I stare at him with thoughts of treachery, and he returns my glare with trepidation. With his eyes wide and his mouth drooping, he looks like a caught criminal. Akaram and the girls are talking amongst themselves, although I cannot hear what they are saying. I am deaf through the vibrating hum in my ears. Sorry about that. Before the room goes black, Sira uses magic to eliminate her hand. With a soft nudge, Akaram pushes me back into my pelts. My eyes stay locked on Wystan. I know he lied, and not only about Drobe being naked. He told me, as well as the people of the city, that he found Drobe already dead. And that is the end of Chapter 7. Alright, guys. Sorry that I'm not doing as good a job being able to put out videos. They keep moving me to different sites, and it's been really hectic to plan out my weeks. The day that I want to do my video, I forgot to weigh myself on my weight video. I do intend to do that either tonight or tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that chapter. I know I'm getting to a little bit of a cliffhanger there, but we still got several chapters to go. That was Chapter 7. I plan on going to about Chapter 11. That's really the first act of the story, where the real cliffhanger gets to, I think. Or at least the start of the new act, I should say. I think the cliffhanger's already there, but there's more to it. Anyway, I will let you go. Have a good night, guys. Stay motivated.